every day is different. Every video is different. But my passion will always be the same. Oh! This is Kai for Warshawn, aka Stormboy13, and the storm has arrived. Wow! Hello guys, it's Stormboy13. I haven't done a lot of weather news over the last couple of weeks, but today, well tonight, whatever time you're watching this, bringing a new one to you today. It's about a new celebrity, 16 years old, she's from Sweden, her name is Greta Thunberg. Now why am I mentioning this in this video? Well, over the last few weeks she's been a very, quite a new but a huge figure when it comes to political views of global warming or climate strike, whatever. So I'm going to get more details on her. So, Greta Thunberg. So, she was born in 2003. She is currently 16 years old. And she's known as a Swedish teenage environmental activist on climate change whose campaigning has gained global recognition. So, a little bit about her. Basically, the public know about her. She's became known for activism actually back August last year at age 15 years old. And she spent her school days in Sweden, outside the Swedish Parliament, to call for stronger action on global warming, which I have to agree with her, holding up a sign, in Swedish language, School Strike for Climate. And then, shortly afterwards, from other of her friends and classmates are engaged with similar protests from their own communities. And together they've organised a school climate strike movement under the fame Fridays for Future. Good name. After Greta addressed the 2018 United Nations Climate Change Conference. Particularly, I think in Sweden, student strikes took place every week somewhere across the world, not just Sweden, all across. And then the following year, 2019, there were at least 2 coordinated multi-city protests involving at least over 1 million students and counting. Not just that though, she's also known for her blunt, in a straightforward speaking manner, both in public and to political leaders and, not surprisingly, assemblies, in which she urges immediate action to address what she describes as, understandably, climate crisis. And at home, she also convinced her parents, to adopt several lifestyle choices to reduce their own carbon footprint, including giving up air travel and even not eating meat. This is like a little bit of a reference to Lisa Simpson. And then more recently, her sudden rise to world fame has made her a leader, but also a target. A couple of months ago, back in May, Greta was featured on the cover of Time magazine, which named her potentially the next generation leader, and noted that many see her, unsurprisingly, I think millions or probably a little bit less likely, hundreds of thousands see her as a role model. Some will disagree, but most would agree. And I will be honest, I have to agree with the role model thing. I think she'll be, some people just don't get her, but most will. Then Greta and the school strike movement also featured in a half-an-hour Vice documentary titled Make the World Greta Again. Some media have described her impact on the world stage as the Greta Thunberg effect. Greta has been the recipient of numerous honours and awards, including Fellowship of the Royal Scottish Geographical Society. She's been named as the most 100 most influential people of 2019 by Time magazine, and she's also been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. And then last month she also addressed the UN Climate Action Summit in New York. Also a little bit more facts about her. Greta says she heard about climate change actually way back in 2011 when she was only 8 years old. And she could also not understand why so little was been done about it. And then when she got to age 11, rumours were she became depressed, lethargic, and also stopped talking as well as eating. And there's also, interestingly, she was also eventually diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism, and also OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and also selective mutism. Whilst acknowledging that she said, whilst acknowledging that her diagnosis has limited me before, she doesn't actually view her Asperger's as an illness, and instead calling it her superpower. Thinking as a positive, not as a negative. And then also, for about 2 years, she also challenged her parents, like I've just mentioned, to lower the family's carbon footprint by becoming a vegetarian, giving up flying, which in part meant her mother had to give up her international career as an opera singer. Greta also gave her parents credit for their eventual response and also lifestyle changes, which just gave her hope and believed that she could make a difference to the world. The family story has also been recounted in 2018 book Scenes from the Heart. And also, late last year, she began the school climate strikes and public speeches for what she has become an intentionally recognised climate activist. Her dad doesn't like her missing school, but said that in respect, she wants to make a stand. She can either stay at home and be really unhappy or protest and be happy. But also, Greta says her teachers are divided in her views about her missing class to make her point. She says people think what I'm doing is good, but as teachers they say I should stop. And some of her head teacher particularly, and from a few other teachers, said that her mind's gone mental, knowing what is she doing about it. She's missing her education, all because of a concern with the global climate, and given especially at a particularly vulnerable age. Time magazine has also reported Greta is now taking a sabbatical, captions on there, year from school, and is hoping to meet with people on the front line of the climate change movement during a trip to North America, which will include visits to Canada, Mexico, and Chile. And also, finally for this bit, in one of her first speeches demanding climate action, Greta has also described the selective mutism aspect of her condition. This means she only speaks when necessary. And then we know this year, 2019, Greta has also contributed a voiceover for the release of the 1975 theme song of the English band by the same name. And she just finishes by urging to everyone out there, it is now time for civil disobedience, it is now time to rebel. Proceeds will go to Extinction Rebellion at Greta's request. Now there's so much I can go on about her, but I don't want to make the video overly long, so I'm just going to get to the main bits, and probably on a future video I might make another update video about her, because people are going to know her for years to come, because the climate strike protests will not stop for a long time yet, which also means she'll be included on them. But this is what's been happening, the timeline from her honours and awards. This is the last bit of the video. So, May 2018, we know before starting a climate strike, Greta was one of the winners of Shaviki Dabigladi's debate article winning competition on the climate for young people. November 2018, 3 months into a school climate strike, she was nominated for the Children's Climate Prize and is awarded by the Swedish electricity company Telge Energy. However, she declined to accept the award because many of the finalists would fly to Stockholm for the ceremony and required meeting one another. Then, 10th of December last year, Time magazine named Greta one of the world's 25 most influential teenagers of 2018, and in the same year she was awarded the Flutter Scholarship of the Young Role Model of the Year. Then 8th of March this year, and then Greta was named Swedish Woman of the Year by the Swedish Women's Educational Association. 5 days later, on the 13th, 2 deputies of Swedish Parliament and 3 deputies of Norwegian Parliament nominated Greta as a candidate for the Nobel Peace Prize. The nominating politicians explained her decision by arguing that global warming will be the cause of wars, conflict and refugees if nothing is done to halt it. And then she responded that she was honoured and grateful for the nomination, and if she receives the prize later this year, she will become the youngest person ever to receive it. Then on the 31st, the same month, she also received the German, actually popular, Golden Kalmia Special Climate Protection Award. Then a day later, April Fool's Day this year, the Prix Liberté from France's region Normandy was awarded to Greta, which she received in Cannes on the 21st July that year. And she's also the first recipient of this new award. which was designed to honour a young person engaged in a fight for peace and freedom, and she said she would donate the €25,000 prize money to 4 organisations working for climate justice and helping those already affected by climate change. Then, fast forward to the 12th of April, she received a Norwegian, all around Europe, a Norwegian Fritt Awards Prize, which celebrates freedom of speech, good for you, with the nation and youth organisation. The conferring organisation, Fritt Award, also noted their determined, committed activism, even in the face of persuasive online and media harassment. Greta had donated her share of the prize money to a lawsuit which seeks to hold Norwegian oil exploration in the Arctic. And then also in April 2019, here we go again with the Time magazine. She has also been, they've named Greta as one of the 100 most influential people of 2019. And then also in April 2019, the Chilean-based organisation, don't know how you pronounce that name, so I'm just not going to say it, but the caption's on there. Headed by Mario Aguala of the University of St Andrews, announced that Greta has been selected as a recipient for the organisation's Laudato Si Prize. And then in May 2019, we're almost there, the University of Mons announced it awarded a Doctor Honoris degree to Greta. The doctoral diploma in his degree will be bestowed as the official opening of the university's 2019-2020 academic year tomorrow, 10th of October, as I speak. And then July 2019, Greta was awarded the Gred's Environment Medal by the Royal Scottish Geographical Society, which automatically grants her its honorary fellowship. And then back in May 2019, artist Jodie Thomas painted a 50-foot high, 50-metre mural of Greta on a wall in Bristol. It portrays the bottom half of her face as under rising seawater. And then in May 2019, same month, she was also featured on the cover of Time magazine again, which was described as a role model, one of the next generation leaders. And she also released a 30-minute documentary, Make the World Greta Again. We know that now. It features interviews with a number of youth protest leaders in Europe. Almost there. Then 7th of June, Amnesty International announced that it will give Greta her most prestigious award, the Ambassador of Consistency Award, for her leadership in the climate movement. Greta then said the prize equally belongs to everyone who was taking part in the Fridays for Future movement in school strike for climate. The activist said the award, the activist said the award is all those for millions of people, young people around the world who together make up the movement called Fridays for Future. And then last September 2019 issue of British Vogue magazine's cover featured Greta along with 15 women. The cover was credited by guest editor Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. And then 3rd of September last month, she also received the first ever Game Changer Award at the GQ Men of the Year Awards 2019. The award was designed specifically with her in mind. 3 more to go. 25th September, Greta was named as one of 4 winners of the 2019 Right Livelihood Award, known as Sweden's Alternative Nobel Prize. Greta won the award for inspiring and amplifying political demands for urgent climate action, reflecting scientific facts, the Right Livelihood Foundation said in a statement. 2 days later, 27th, Greta was awarded Keys to the City of Montreal in Canada by Mayor Valérie Plante. Upon receiving Keys to the City, she also stated, "I'm incredibly honoured." She was in Montreal for the global climate strike where over 500,000 people marched calling on political leaders to take action against climate change and met with Mayor Plante after delivering a speech to the mass protesters. And finally, literally yesterday, she also, along with Native American teenage climate activist Takita Ionized, took part in the climate panel on the North Dakota side of Standing Rock Indian Reservation. And then also at the end of the panel discussion, she was honoured with a Lakota name by Standing Rock's chief alpha-looking horse. Greta's Lakota name, translated to English, means woman who came from the heavens. Tribal members says she's awakening the world and they stand by her mission. So Greta, fantastic role model pretty much for the world now, and there'll be another updates, many more updates of you in the upcoming future. That's all I have in this video, although to be fair, I think that's quite a lot of information about her, and like I said, there will be potentially many more updates to come in the future. Anyways, thanks very much for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. More weather news coming up soon, in a couple of days' time. Next week I will be doing the November 2019 outlook for the UK, so please make sure you check that out. And other than that, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Storm is now out.